College is a scam for most people. And I'm not saying that just to sound edgy. I'm just saying that because the math just doesn't make any sense anymore. By the end of this video, I'll show you exactly why and what I would do instead. I'm 25, I work HVAC, and I've built close to around $300,000 in my portfolio right now. I got no degree, no startup, no inheritance, and I didn't just go about it and just throw myself into debt right away at the age of 18, going to college, right? That decision alone changed the trajectory of my life forever. Let's talk about the first point, okay? This is the financial scam. If you think about it, the average student goes into massive amounts of debts, close to around maybe even six figures if they don't have any financial help or student aid, right? Like, it's absolutely insane what these 20-year-olds are going through, because they're going to be carrying around all this massive debt for most of their life, right? Like, they'll be paying off this student debt that'll just follow them around forever until they're probably like 50 or something around there. The interest on that debt is compounding against you, and you're starting your adult life in the negatives, which is absolutely horrendous. Like, think about it. If you took that 50 to 100K, whatever it is, at the age of 18, and you started just investing that and building skills, like, you'd be light years ahead. When you're older in life, you're age 30, you're gonna have your compound interest start accumulating for you, and you'd be making massive amounts of money. But you just go to class, right? You get good grades, and then you get your piece of paper. You're not even guaranteed a entry-level job. You have AI's taking over, right? So think about it, okay? Most people your age, my age, right? I'm 25, right? A lot of people our age think that they have time on their side, but that's completely not the case, right? You can be 18 to 22, okay? This 4-year time period. You could be in a lecture hall. You could be studying, getting good grades, reading by the book, and listening to professors that have no knowledge, especially if they're like a business degree, right? And they have no experience running a business. They're just an employee. That time frame from 18 to 22, you could be working on your skills. You could be developing client calls. You could be talking to different people. Networking is a huge one for me. When they come out of college, this 22-year-old, right, with that piece of paper, compared to the 22-year-old with 4 years experience, is going to be far more valued in this economy, in this market. Skills far outweigh, this piece of paper that'll put thousands and thousands of dollars in debt. And I'm not saying don't go to school if you want to become friggin' doctor, lawyer. You need that piece of paper, right? But for 80% of us, we're not going to be doctors and lawyers and all these crazy routes. We're just going to be working for a piece of paper, and then next thing you know, you're in huge debts and barely get an entry-level job with AI taking over. It doesn't make any sense. So I just touched on it, but this is the qualified lie, okay? A degree, it doesn't make you valuable anymore, okay? Skills do. Okay, so companies, they're going to start caring about what you do, okay? What you built and what problems you can solve for the company. How can you make this company lots and lots of money, right? They're not going to be the trust in this entry-level position guy with a piece of paper and no skills whatsoever. They're going to think this is a hassle. This is Gen Z we're talking about. They're probably going to quit within the year and make them no money. You know what I mean? They're just going to replace you. It makes no sense whatsoever. If you are able to tell them that, you've built this business, you're able to manage clients, you're able to do client cold calls, right? Any of that kind of stuff, execution will always beat education every single time. Okay, let's talk more about the AI shift, all right? Entry-level roles, the stuff you get straight out of college, are the first things to be getting automated. It's already happening. It's happening at a crazy scale. And these entry-level positions, like a bank teller or a service marketer call-in person, right? Their jobs are getting taken away faster than ever, and it's going to be absolutely insane to see what the next few years are going to what's going to happen to them, right? If you think about it, if you go into debt, right, to qualify for replaceable work, that is the most risky thing you can do, okay? It's not going to school because you're afraid you're not going to get a job, because your job's probably already gone and there's going to be a tough market out there for you. I need you to start thinking about being creative. This is like trades, learning sales, and execution, right? Execution skills survive longer. So let's think about the different routes you could take, right? The trades advantage, okay? This is the edge, all right? So trades, all right, they're not glamorous, but they will pay, and they can be outsourced, right? You can invest the difference instead of just, throwing your money away at an institution, a private institution that just keeps raising their their pricing, and it gets outrageous, especially if you're like a international student. You got like 3x what you would be paying regularly if you were just to be, like a citizen. But I mean, you need it, quote unquote. That's what they're telling you. And I'm not rich because I work HVAC. I'm ahead because I invested early on, since the age of 18, 50% of my paychecks, right? I'm not saying you need to do that. I'm just saying, like, these small differences, these small disciplines, they add up over time. That's the difference, okay? That's the key. It's positioning. So this is what to do instead, okay? This is important. You got 4 different options, all right? The first one is to learn a high income skill. This could be online, this could be marketing, coding, etc., whatever else it is. Just develop your skills, learn a new skill that you can sell, okay? And the second thing you could do is enter a trade, okay? This is HVAC, plumbing, electrician, any of that. Like I said, I'm in HVAC. I'm kind of biased, obviously. But, these skills, they're not going away anytime soon. I don't see AI. I don't think a lot of people see AI taking this over in, the next decade, 2 decades, whatever else it is. The stuff I'm doing, I can't imagine a robot doing it, right? And the third thing is to work immediately and invest aggressively, okay? Like what I said I did. Started at 18 and just got right on it. You need to be doing the same thing. Otherwise, you're going to be left behind, stuck in the past, hella in debt. You don't want to be stuck financially, like most of these problems in this world, divorce rates, 80% come from like, your finances, anything whatsoever. It all roots from money. If you really think about it, right? Money isn't evil. It just amplifies the person you are. If you're bad with money and you got hella money, what do you think is going to happen? You're just going to throw it all away, gamble it all away. You're great with your money, and you start small and you just grow up your money pile. You're going to be great with your money, right? And the fourth thing, okay, is to start a service-based freelancing, all right? This could be like coaching. I was doing coaching for a long time, helping people getting started with investing, charging some people, right? That's a great route to take. You can be doing editing. I know there's a lot of gamers out there. You could be helping people market their brand, their personality. You could even be making websites, right? Like anything along those lines. Freelance work is great, okay? The goal isn't income first. It's ownership early, okay? Just remember that. So like I mentioned earlier, okay, if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, this isn't about you, okay? For the average business or general degree, the return on investment is questionable. You start doing the math, start understanding what's going on here, and start understanding the scam that, these people, this American dream, even though I'm Canadian, this American dream really puts into your view, right? It's not real. It's gone. It's changed completely. So I'm just trying to say, college isn't evil, but for most people, it's financially inefficient, okay? You don't need debt to build wealth. And I'm proof of that, right? Like I said, 300K. It's gonna keep growing. And I've set myself up for when I'm like 30, I'm gonna be well off, right? Financially independent, I can travel, do whatever the hell I want, right? But I'm just gonna be building till then. If you got any value from this, make sure you drop a like. We got videos coming out every single week. And if you're watching this, I know you got what it takes, and I'm rooting for you. You have an amazing rest of your day, and I'm out. Peace.